Hello everybody, this is Kysen here and welcome back to another episode here on PitForge SMP. And as you can see today, I am at the Sandcastle complex and we're going to be doing a bit of work around here. And I have a little bit of an update to give you to show you some things that I've been doing off camera. So as I spoke about in the last episode, we needed to get a storage area so that we could convert everything that is over there, which is where my current storage area is, and a few other simple farms and things. Get all of that out of the way for the big farming area that I'm going to put there. And so today, that's what we're going to do, is get the storage area done and start transferring all the items across. So as you can see, I'm stood roughly in the centre of the town at the moment. I thought that'd be a good place for it because obviously then it's central to all other builds and things that I have going on here. Just kind of made sense to have it in the middle. And what I've done, as you can see here, we've got some stairs going down into it. Now, I was going to build it just like a normal building above ground, but then I thought, well, it's probably going to take up too much space because it is going to be quite a big build, and I'd rather sort of go down, do all that underground, and save the town space because the town is big, but for the projects that I've got coming up, it's not huge by any means, and I think saving space would be a good idea. So we've gone down underground here. And just to say as well, a lot of this is temporary, like these stairs here almost definitely won't be the stairs that we use come the end of this, and the walls and things here obviously need to be made to look nice, and I'll probably build some sort of monument looking thing around this that you can then get into and go down that way. I may even change it so that instead of having stairs I might do like an ender pearl drop or some sort of elevator or something like that, but we'll take a look at that in the future. So down here is where I've been doing all of the work, as you can see now. And we've got obviously a two-tier storage room. So just to explain this a little bit, how this is going to work, I've got some chests on me here. So I'm thinking I'll place the chests sort of like this, one on top of the other, and we'll get obviously 3 layers of double chests in there like that, and that's per pod. Now if I wanted to, I could do this a little bit differently, where I had the chests coming out like that. If I can place them correctly, there we go. And I would get 1 up there, 2 here and 2 here. But I think A, it's not going to look great, and B, it's not really necessary. I will need a lot of storage, but probably not to that extent. So I think the chests in there like that will look good and will serve the purpose for what we need. The other nice thing about doing this is, as you can see at the moment, I've lit the whole area up with fire going right the way around the rim. I don't know why, it just kind of felt right for the whole Sandtown theme. And now that it's done, I quite like the way it looks. I think especially when the ceiling is done, it will look even better. But for now, that chiseled sandstone layer across the top there, just above it, with the smoke and the fire sort of covering it every now and again, I think that looks pretty good. So I need to do something with the ceiling. I was thinking of maybe doing some sort of mosaic, but I'm still undecided on that, so we'll see how that goes. But for down here, once I take these torches away, it will be quite dark. So the nice thing about having a storage design where I've got this here and a block of space is I was thinking in here I could put some redstone lamps or some glowstone or something, and that would probably look pretty good. Let's put that back for now though. So we've got a bit of work left to do. Clearly, obviously the flooring and the ceiling needs to be done. All the chests also need to be added. If we just go down to the bottom section here though, I'll show you what I was thinking. So we've got these areas here that are 3 wide. So there's 1 there, there's 1 there, and there are ones on the top level here, and I believe just there actually on the top level, there's none on the sides. So I had a thought that maybe I could make these entrances and hallways to go off to do other things. So for example, I know that my zombie farm is roughly in that direction, that way. So I might better sort of connect it up where I had some sort of auto storage thing there where there was tunnels and things connecting up. Or I might be able to build some more underground things, like maybe go off here and do an enchantment room, or go off here and have a furnace room or something like that. So there's a lot of potential for the future. Now there's also quite a lot of these 1 wide gaps, and originally I was thinking it'd be a good place for ender chests. However, I've had another think about this, and I was thinking that at least in some of them, I think suits of armor on armor stands would look pretty cool. Kind of like you might see like it's supposed to represent like a statue, and it's kind of what I would expect to see in like an Egyptian mummy's tomb where you have a statue and the armor there. I don't know, I think that would look good. I think you guys will get what I mean by that. Now in terms of the flooring, I was thinking of probably doing wood, and the other thing I was going to look at doing was putting some sort of rail along here like this, so that you've got a rail looking down over there. But I'm not sure if I want to do it with fence, or if I maybe just want to do it with half slabs, because I think the fence, it will probably look okay, but one of the annoying things is not being able to jump over it. And like if you're over here, like if we were right the way around doing something in a chest here, and we wanted to go down, I don't really want to have to walk the whole way around every time and then go down. I know that sounds a bit lazy, but bearing in mind as well, if I have like an enchantment room and a furnace room and stuff down here, then to go all the way around to get down each time and then all the way around to come back up would be quite annoying. Whereas I can just jump down like this and then ender pearl back up, because obviously we will get an enderman farm set up. So the other option I have is to do slabs. If I can find where I put my sandstone, here we go. And I'm going to need a crafting bench, which I have one. Awesome. So I could look at doing slabs here and using that as a kind of railing. So I would obviously just place them here. I think it does need to be raised up though, like it wouldn't look right if it was left as it is. But maybe something like this. I think that might be better. Obviously allows the option to just run off then as well. If we have a look at it from down here as well. So from here the fence does look pretty good actually. And the sandstone slabs do not. They do not look good at all. Well, maybe it's the colour of slabs. If I try some dark oak slabs, let's see if they look any better. Because as much as it might be a pain to run around, I would rather do that than have something that doesn't look good. So we'll try a few different things until we get something good. I won't do too much of this on camera. If this one doesn't work, then I'll just probably play around with a few things off camera. But let's see. Yeah, I'm not particularly sold on that idea either. I think at the moment the fence is my favourite actually. I like the darker colour, that's for sure. Whatever I do, I think sandstone's, it's just too much sandstone. It needs to be the darker colour. And just to break up all of this sandstone that we've got here right now. Talking of which, I need to think about what I want to do for the flooring. So let's have a look. What have we got here? I wanted to try out a few different materials and see what they look like, and I'll try that out with you guys, and then you can have a bit of input there as to what you think looks best. So stone bricks was one of the things I thought, but I did have my concerns about whether they would look good or not, and now that I've placed them, they're not too bad, to be honest. They look okay. The other thing I was thinking, again, just to break up this darkness, was to place the dark oak slabs down here, or full blocks or whatever, but it will basically give the same effect. It will look like that. I think that actually will look quite nice against this backdrop, won't it? Because you've got a good contrast then of the light and the dark. The only other one I wanted to check out was a bit of spruce, because particularly if we end up using dark oak for the fence around here, it might be too much dark oak if we do the floor out of it as well. How does that look? Actually, that looks pretty good. It's kind of in between being too dark. And I think actually this place just sort of here like this, I think this might provide a good sort of transitional colour between the sandstone getting slightly darker with the spruce wood and then darker with the fence, and I quite like that. Also, we have got a lot of spruce trees that have grown in the tree farm that I created, so it wouldn't be too much of an issue to do that. And you know what? Yeah, I think that is my favourite actually, that spruce wood. I think that's a good colour for this area. So the next thing to do is to finish off obviously the flooring, the lighting with all the lights going in here. The ceiling needs to be done, filling it with chests. So when I say the next thing, it's kind of like the next phase, I guess. The original phase is what I've done here, just the shell of the building and lighting it up and stuff, but the next bit is obviously some of the finer details. So what I think I'll do now is go ahead and make all of this spruce, try and decide what I want to do with this. I'm thinking I might do this, and you know what, I just had a really good idea. All I have to do is make this fence gates, and then I can run off and jump down into the thing whenever I need to. So that's probably the best way to go, because I think it looks the best, and it will still offer me a good freedom of movement. I'm just wondering if, see on these bits here it kind of comes out a bit, so if we go downstairs again real quickly, that was basically just to give it a bit of depth to the build, rather than just being flat walls everywhere. So it comes out a little bit here like that, as you can see, and it does mean that when the fence comes here like this, it goes back on itself. And I'm just wondering if this looks a bit weird, where you've got like all of this spruce stuff, and then all of a sudden, like if we build out spruce, it'll be spruce the whole way around, and then it will just be 2 layers of sandstone instead of 1. So yeah, not sure about that. But I'll play around with a lot of those designs off camera, and I'll give you guys a bit of an update once I've made some more firm decisions, and we can see how everything looks once it's been put into place. Well guys, you might notice behind me that everything's looking quite bare, and the reason for that is because I've been cracking on with moving all the storage over, and I'm just about done now. The only thing that remains here is this nether portal here, and the little farm area there. So other than that, this whole area is now cleared out, and this is where we're going to put all of our farms in future. So that's for, you know, wheat and potatoes and carrots and things like that. I think this will be a great area to do that. So I'll show you as well. I've done a bit more progress with the storage room. So we'll take a look at that now and see how that's looking. One thing I will do is just turn my sound down a bit, particularly blocks. It can get kind of loud in there with the fire if you're not if I don't turn my sound down. So here it is. This is obviously with the spruce flooring, the dark oak fencing, the lighting's been put in now as well, and all of the chests, of course. And I've done some loose categories for all different things going all around here. So yeah, I think it's looking pretty good. I think the colours work quite nicely together, and still very much like that fire effect along the top. But that brings me to what the next thing to do is, and that is to do something with the ceiling. So I had a few different ideas, and I think I'm going to need to try them out on my creative world first. But what I was thinking is, one would be to leave the ceiling at the height it is now. I don't want to make it any lower, because then the fire, I think, will be too close to it. If I start building here, then the fire would only have would have no blocks gap. At the moment it's got one before the roof, and I think it needs that. So at this level right here, this is the lowest I want the roof to be. I did even contemplate making it a bit higher than this, maybe making it too high and having some of those armor statues that I talked about going all around the top here as well. I think that would look pretty cool. The obvious difficulty there is just that I wouldn't have, like, let's say I said I'll make them all out of iron, I wouldn't have the iron to do that just yet. I think if I did them out of leather, I'm not sure if it would look good, so I think it would have to be iron really. But yeah, something that I could perhaps look to do later on in the game is to add that decoration. So what I did think about was making the roof maybe 2 or 3 blocks higher than what it currently is to accommodate for that in the future. If I don't make it any higher, I might try out some sort of mosaic design, maybe using some stairs and half slabs and things like that, and just make the roof a little bit different. I did contemplate having like a clear sight of glass going up to the sky in one of the areas, but kind of didn't like that idea in the end, so I think it will take up space in the town as well. So yeah, I've got a few different things that I will be trying out, and I'll see how they look. And once I've got one that I think looks the best, then I'll give a bit of an update and show you how that's coming along. Alrighty guys, well, we are currently outside the storage room. So as you can see here, we're just inside the sandcastle area, and this tomb looking thing is now basically the storage room, or at least it's the outside of it. And I think it's one of those things that kind of looks a little bit weird right now, and that's because there's nothing else around here other than the walls. They're all quite far away from it, and once I start building around it, I think this will look less strange. And it's just one of those things that I wanted it to be like a simple design that kind of looked like a tomb, and I think we've achieved that. This is how it looks from the front. So just the fire there. I think the fire is going to be a good thing to add all around the city. I think it will look good, and obviously it provides light as well, so that's useful. And then some simple torches here, which I will turn into the ones that have got the item frames and slabs across them, so they look a bit better, and a staircase going down. But yeah, I think once I start building things around this, it will take shape a little bit more as part of the town, whereas at the moment it looks a little bit strange on its own. But if you guys have any ideas, of course, let me know, and I'll see if I can incorporate those, or if perhaps they work well. So coming down here now, as you can see, the lights need to be done, and I'll do the same with the torches that I'm going to do here with the item frames and such. But yeah, I'll just use torches to light this up. This staircase design, just a symmetrical kind of thing with the spruce stairs on the bottom and the top, so I think that looks pretty nice, and then obviously symmetrical on the sides with this clay colours. I think as well with doing this you get this bit of depth by having that one further back, so I kind of like that. You might have noticed by now that I do like to try and include a bit of depth in my designs. I think it just makes them look a little bit better. So yeah, that's basically that, just a simple design, but hopefully that looks good. So the big thing in here is the ceiling has been done. I went for a basic pattern, nothing too over the top or complex, just a simple pattern, because at the end of the day this is just a storage room, and I think if I'm going to do something a bit more fancy, then I'll probably save that for later. But I did want to do some sort of pattern design rather than just a one colour roof, and I think this looks good because the clay being the yellow and brown, it's sort of different enough to add a bit of contrast to the walls and things, but at the same time it does still match in with the colours that we've been using for this room. So I think that, yeah, I think that works well. Just my personal opinion. Obviously, like I say to you guys, just let me know if you think differently, or if you think you'd like to see something else. But yeah, so that's the storage room done, which is nice because now we have somewhere to keep our things as we move forwards. And I'm fairly happy with the end result because I don't like to go all out on a storage room, but I do like to do some sort of design for them rather than just, chucking a load of chests into a square room or something. And yeah, I've not done one of this type of design before, so I'm quite happy with that. Now, just a bit of news as well. So we've now hit 400 subscribers, which is pretty cool. I'm very happy about that. It's really nice to be at that next milestone. And we're creeping up to the halfway point to 1,000 now, which is also very exciting. So that does mean that a 400 subs special episode will be coming out soon. And I'll look to do one of those in the next few days. Not exactly sure what I'll do for that, so feel free to suggest ideas. But yeah, so that'll be coming out soon. Oh, just to say as well, this ugly pillar here, that's Dusty Lamp's fault right there. I think he was having some trouble taking off with his Elytra, so built that one up there to take off. But yeah, that wasn't me. And he has told me he'll be removing that very soon. So that's going to be about it for this episode, the storage room episode. Now, lately my episodes have been a bit sporadic, and I've kind of done a couple of shorter episodes and things. But essentially, there's a couple of reasons for that I just thought I'd talk to you for a little bit here, just to end this episode off. So, one thing is that I've basically just been very busy. I take my helmet off because it gets really hot here in the desert sun, and also I just kind of like to talk to you guys like that. So, yeah, just been quite busy with work and things. Also, been working on the Iron Titan, and that is no small task. That's taking up a lot of my time. I think it's worth it because I think when it's done it will look pretty cool, and it will also add to my world in a number of ways, not just the aesthetics, but it's kind of something to tick off the bucket list. That's how I see it, and also just something that I've always wanted to do, so kind of ticks off all that, or ticks all those boxes, I should say. And also it's going to provide me with a lot of iron. So what with that big project and work and things have been a bit sporadic, but hopefully we can start picking up now. We're doing some more regular content, and I will get as much out as I can because I do enjoy doing it, and I know you guys enjoy watching. So yeah, that's where we're at right now, and as I say, things should be improving on the schedule front very shortly. So I'm just trying to make enough space here now. One thing I am struggling with this room is remembering where everything goes. So like, I'm trying to think now. Okay, so this is clay up here. Because, I don't know, it's just a weird sort of layout in terms of the way everything is stored compared to what I'd normally do. It's hard to explain, but I kind of have a system that I normally do, and it's just very different. But yeah, that's just my problem. I'll deal with that. So let's actually do the outro right here in the storage room, seeing as that's what this episode was all about. Is this a good view? Or maybe like on the stairs, looking up that way. It's kind of cool, right? So yeah, guys, that's about it for today. Just trying to keep you up to date with a bit of the latest news there about the 400 subs episode and my schedule and stuff. So just thought I'd include that at the end. But as always, guys, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.